where are we at on this one? We're still waiting to
So
get served?
I apologize.
No.
We've got email service agreement signed by all parties, and so that's in place. We're waiting for official service via email on my client, the mother, and I'm currently working with my client with regard to a child or the child support worksheet.
Okay.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, who is this on the phone?
This is Teresa Schaefer.
Okay,
I'm trying to figure out this whole Zoom thing.
Petitioner.
Petitioners, thank you.
okay, thank you. Okay, so we still need to get service done, then is what you're telling me.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't know how to do that email, all these documents. I was thinking about can I drop it off at his office today? I don't know how to email all that.
We would be fine with that. Actually, as a matter of fact, Your Honor, I did download the petition and all related pleadings from Odyssey and was able to forward those to my client. And so, if the court requires that the certificate of service be filed, we'll accept that via email or at our law office. But if it will accept that the respondent mother has already been provided with those documents, we're fine with that as well.
All right, so let me make sure I understand what you're saying. Are you willing to stipulate that to service with regards to the mother?
Correct.
Okay, so I think our records we can just simply show that in the clerk's notes, and we probably don't need anything else on that. That'll get that moving forward.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Turnbull, where else are we on? How much have you gotten done on this case, if anything?
I'm ready to file my report.
Okay. So how much time do we need to have this? And you're working with support enforcement, you said? Mr. Sasaki?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, you said you were working with support enforcement or?
No, I'm working with my client
Your client.
on this child support worksheet, and
I see.
we're working on our response to the petition for guardianship.
Okay, got it. Very good. So how much time does everybody need before we actually have a hearing that we can move something forward?
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm ready to file my report, so.
Okay, so yours
I
is
don't
your,
need much time.
and you can serve that by email and everybody, it sounds like.
Yes.
Blank orders extending.
Am I understanding that I can that I just need to go to the courthouse and file the service paper?
You don't need to do anything, ma'am. It sounds like that's being stipulated to today.
Okay. I'm not
Second.
Mr. Sasaki said that he would stipulate that for you, so you don't need to do that.
Okay. So
That's
Thank you.
correct.
give me 1 second to make myself a note. So I'm going to need to do an extension order. So 3 weeks out. Did that work for everybody?
Yeah.
Let me find a calendar. I'm sorry.
It'd be 3 weeks from today on the 26th.
No matter what, I can make it work.
Okay. So March 26th at 10:30. And we will proceed forward at that time.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And
Thank
I'll be entering an order after court that extends the temporary to that
Thank
date.
you, Your Honor. I am here
Thank you,
representing
sir.
the petitioners. For the court's record, the petitioners are here in my office with me. We're here for the show cause hearing. We have been trying to serve the mother, Monique Barnes, and have been unsuccessful with that. We do have a phone number for her. We called her and she did answer. She offered to come to our office and accept service, but then she did not show up. She did provide an email address to us. We emailed her information about today's hearing. I don't know whether the court would prefer to appoint a court visitor or set this out a couple more weeks, and we'll email her all of the pleadings and try to make contact again. My understanding is that Ms. Barnes has been couch surfing, so we don't have an address to try physical service at unless we get additional information from her.
Okay. When, I guess, with the father's consented in this case, as I recall,
Yes, he has.
and, you know, we probably, with the child being 12, we probably need to appoint a visitor, don't we?
We certainly can. I'm not sure what the mother's position will be once we serve her.
Why don't we do that, and then we'll have that in place once we get mom involved in the case if we need to.
Sounds
That way
good.
Won't drag things on. Do we know who's next, or do I have to get that back? Okay, so I'll do an order appointing. I don't know who that'll be right this second. I'll need to check with court administration after docket. Visitor
Do you want me to send over an order or will you do one?
we have those orders. I'll just do one off the bench. I just don't have a name to give you right now anyway, so but what we will need to do, we have a temporary order in this, don't we?
And we did an immediate emergency order if the court could extend that. We did also file a motion for an emergency order, but I don't think the court can enter that before the mom's served.
Okay. Looks like that was done 2/28. So if we could, do you want to prepare another order up on that, extending that out, and we could go out?
I can do that.
Do you want to go 2 weeks or 3 weeks on this one?
Maybe let's do 3 weeks. That'll give the court visitor a little bit of time to get up to speed.
I think that makes sense. So we'll set it for the 10:30 on the 26th of March. And if you want to prepare just an extended immediate order, and then that can be sent over via email, and I'll get that entered with the court.
Okay, I will do that.
And so
Thank
we're
you.
to alert the court that if that happens today, the state will be needing to file notice of appearance regarding child support.
Okay, I did receive a report in at least an approved. Did you want to review the guardianship order before it's signed?
We would need to, Your Honor, if there's anything containing child support, we would need to review that. If the court does grant to enter the full petition today.
So the section for the child support was left blank for the court to fill in, which could say, we could enter the order with it saying that child support is not being addressed at this time.
That would work for the state.
Okay, so in paragraph 13, just indicate child support not being addressed. Check the box for not issuing order at this time. That does award the tax exemptions to the guardian if those are available. That shouldn't affect your orders, I wouldn't think.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I think everyone else has signed off on this. Anything else we need on this one, Ms. Farr?
Well, Your Honor, just so that you're aware, mother was not served with the regular petition. She was unable to be served. She did sign the consent at the beginning of the process. So, you know, it's very difficult, it would be very difficult to try to get her served. There is a email address and a possible mailing address for her, but I'm asking that the court go ahead and waive that since she was served with the emergency order and she signed consent.
Because we don't have a regular one filed.
I believe that there is a regular petition filed.
Normally they're filed within the same case, and this one is still designated as an emergency. Give me just a second.
So the standard petition was filed on 12/18.
Oh, I see.
And mother was served with the emergency petition on 12/4, but she had signed the consent on 10/10 at the very beginning of the proceedings.
We probably need to get that case title changed on Odyssey. Look at that. We're just looking at the way Odyssey is showing it, it's still showing it as emergency, but we do have that petition filed. Give me just a second. Let me look in here.
So basically, Your Honor, should the mother abandoned the child at birth, and she's homeless and has drug issues, and she has not had any contact with the family. No one knows where she's at or if she's even still surviving on the streets. Nobody knows anything, so it's impossible to contact her.
Okay. The way that the consent reads, it says she received a copy of the petition, not
Mhm,
the emergency petition.
I know. That's
I
why I
don't
was bringing
know.
it to your attention.
Yeah. And we had, other than that consent, have we had any contact from mother?
None. Miss Curry is the maternal mother, grandmother, and she can, you know, give you a little further information maybe than I have.
Okay, the order I'm looking at here, this is a final order, is it not? Looks
It
like.
is. I believe at one of the previous hearings, the court said that they would accept the consent as mother consenting to the full petition.
Well, I think that's probably okay, given the language that was used in that, because that specifically talks about the consent she signed is, I think, a different form than the emergency consent, because this one does specifically say it's in place until age 18 and what's required to terminate it. So I think given the form that she signed, I think I can authorize that.
Okay, thank you.
So,
And she also checked the box that she does not want to be notified.
I
So,
see that. Okay. Well, she could always come back to court and she could petition and we can address it at that time, but I think at this portion, I think making it as a final makes sense, so.
all right, thank you, Your Honor, and then I will send my fees up separately.
Well, I've signed that order, and can you send an original of your report for the clerk?
Yes,
Okay.
it will be in the mail today.
Okay, and I'm just gonna sign off on the emailed order, so we have an order in the file though. So if you can just send that along with your fee stuff, then we'll get that taken care of. All right,
Yes, thank
so
you.
that should be everything on that case.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let me see here. And as far, this is also yours.
It is. And Your Honor, in this case, our understanding is that the father is not named on the birth certificate, and that information came from the state. And the last order that you signed gave Miss Salas, or gave Miss Rasmussen authority to obtain a birth certificate, but hasn't still been able to. The Vital Statistics Office responded saying that it had to be a permanent guardianship for her to get a copy of the birth certificate. They wouldn't accept that order. So that's where we're at with this one. We don't believe that the father is listed as is named on the birth certificate, but we don't have proof to file it.
Okay, so on this one, where's my service? Okay, so it looks like Emily was served 12/17. Travis was served 12/17.
He was served, but we believe he's not listed on the birth certificate anyway.
Well, I do have in front of me, I was provided with a motion for default for each parent. I think in the interest of just making sure until we have that to be clear, that probably makes sense to enter those orders. There's been no response filed by either parent. So at this juncture, give me just a second here.
Your Honor, Casey Looney, on behalf of the state, we are involved as well. We've not received any copies of proposed final orders, so we've not had a chance to review those regarding child support.
All I'm looking at today is just the order of default. That's
Thank
all I
you.
have. That's all I have in front of me at this point. So, so let me get that resolved. And that was, this is on the general. So enter the two orders of default.
Allow this whole place.
So my question to you, Your Honor, is, should I be including the father's information in my report or not?
Well, maybe Ms. Looney, are you able to verify one way or the other on this case?
Your Honor, the information I have is that the Division of Child Support, when the child begin receiving TANF, they always check to see if there is parentage established. They found a copy of the child's birth certificate that does not include a father's name. They were seeking to establish parentage, but have not had any contact with the mother to be able to move forward with that at this time.
So at this juncture, I don't know that you need to include anything other than the references that to that information. So we have that in the report that he doesn't appear to be on the birth certificate.
Okay, thank you. So at this- I
CPS
guess-
information has come in.
It has, so I can go ahead and do my report now and we can get this finalized.
Okay, so how much time do you need on that?
Couple of weeks. The 15th, how about into the 26th?
26th? Extend to the 26th. All right, so I'll extend this out to the 26th then. And then we'll await your report. And then Ms. Looney, you could probably, with your report, probably include an order, unless we're dealing, if child support needs to be addressed in this case or not.
Your Honor, the state would just need to review the proposed final orders regarding child support. There's an administrative order in place as to the mother. So we would just request that remain in place. It's an appropriate order, but we just want to make sure that the order doesn't contain anything that would negate that order that's currently in place.
Okay, so Ms. Barrow, are you gonna be doing those orders?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor, I'll help.
If you could just
I'll-
reference in those, the
Mhm.
2 lines that we just talked about, which is I think it's the bottom of that first. There's 2 paragraphs talk about child support, just to indicate that the court's not entering or addressing child support in this order on both of those spots.
Will do.
And then we can send that to Ms. Looney for her approval as well. And then we can hopefully get those done when we come back in 3 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and I will extend this out until the 26th. So this was a case where I think we were waiting for Ms. Barr, but I also had a question about, do we need an attorney for the child? Or is here we already have one. That's Mr. Isak. Got it. Okay.
No, I think I'm the attorney for the mother, Your Honor.
Oh,
Got
I see.
email.
Okay. I was looking at
Yeah.
the wrong spot. Yep, correct. Thanks for correcting me.
No problem.
All right. And so in this case,
So we're still waiting for the petitioner to file the standard petition. She emailed me this morning saying that she was working on it. And then, of course, the parents will have to be served with that. Still waiting for other documents to be filed as well. The watch report was defective, needs to be refiled, the lay guardian training. So there's still some things that the petitioner still needs to work on.
okay. Have you had a chance to talk with the minor?
Yes.
And do we need an attorney appointed for her?
The phone conversation I had with her, I believe that she was just wanted to hold off until we saw how contested this was going to be.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yeah,
Hi, I'm the petitioner. Samantha did actually email Miss Farr asking for legal representation for herself.
oh, okay.
I don't believe I
It
got
was a
that
couple
email.
days. Oh, okay. We will have her send another email then.
Okay, but she is requesting to have an attorney?
She did. She asked me about it, and I told her if that's what she wanted to do, then that's what she needed to do, and she sent the email to Miss Farr.
Mhm. May I speak to that on the mother's position, Your Honor?
Sure, Mr. Risa, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're planning on filing an objection. I have a rough draft out to my client. I'm not sure why she isn't here today, but I'm
Okay.
here. So in terms of how much objection there's going to be, I don't know if we're going to be going to trial, but at least she's objecting at this point.
Okay. Given that, it's probably good to go ahead and get counsel appointed so we don't delay everything out for any length of time. So after docket, I will figure out who that's going to be, get an order appointing attorney for the minor. And what kind of timeline are we looking at? It sounds like there's quite a bit to do on this case still.
So I'll defer to the petitioner on how soon she'll be able to get those documents filed and served.
Yes, Your Honor, I should be having the long-term petition completed and submitted today. I should have the watch report and the lay training submitted today.
Do we want to take a look at this one in 2 weeks and see where we're at?
We could do a review in 2 weeks.
Right. I could too.
That way we'll have the objection in, we can get the minor's attorney on board, and then we can make some plans as to how to process the case through.
And
Right.
actually, I'm not available on the 19th, Your Honor. That's why I was asking for the 26th on the other cases.
Okay,
26th is fine with me.
26, okay. Yeah, I think next week's probably a little tight, so. So 26th at 10:30, I'll get that order done. I'll get an attorney appointed and we'll get that information out. Advise, miss anything, so, okay. All right, so we'll come back on the 26th on this one as well, and we'll get an attorney appointed. We'll get all these other papers filed, we'll get a response from the mother, and hopefully be able to move forward.
Thank you,
Right.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. We have anybody here on that matter?
Here, Your Honor, Melissa Wenzel.
Morning. And
Alicia Black, mom. Present.
Charles Black, that's dead.
okay. And let me just get into this. And this looks like this was just filed on Friday. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And did you folks get copies of all the paperwork?
The mother was able to be served by the sheriff's department. The father was unable to be served at the address that we have for him in California, and the minor child was served.
Okay. And let me see here just a second. This is one I know this was the emergency order was not granted. So I guess let me just start quickly. To the mother, are you going to be contesting a guardianship at this time? Do you expect?
Yes.
Okay. And the father?
Yes, sir, I am as well.
And are you two together or are you
Divorced. I live in California. She lives up there in Washington.
okay? And the child is 16. So I'm going to need to there's a lot of process we have to go through to get these things going. So initially, I think, just a second here. Ma'am, I'm talking to mother first. So, and I don't have your name on my screen. So,
My name's Alicia.
okay, Alicia. And are you wishing to have, first off, do you wish to have an attorney?
I don't have money for attorney, so
Okay. Are you currently employed?
correct.
And what would you say your average take home would be?
It's like $4,000 a month. I don't know.
Okay. Your take home pays that much?
Yeah, I run a store.
Okay. So that I don't believe is going to qualify for appointed counsel.
So I have can I ask you a question in regards to the order? Because part of the complaint is that Bailey needed medical insurance and I needed to partner with the CPS investigator, which I've done both things asked of me in the petition.
Okay, well, there's no orders entered right now. This is just a
Oh.
petition that's been filed. There's a request been made. So at this juncture, I assume I'm talking to Melissa. You're wishing to proceed on this at this point?
I am, and the minor child is also wishing to have a guardian ad litem assigned to them.
Okay, well, I would be appointing a guardian ad litem today regardless. Just so we can, I mean, that's required under the statute anyway. She's 16?
Correct.
Okay. So give me just a minute here. Appoint GM4. And let me ask, for the father, are you currently employed, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what would you say your take home pay is?
Take home a month is probably 3,400.
Okay. So I don't believe that you would qualify for, let me just double check something here. A lot of changes in his laws in the last few years, and I want to make sure we don't overlook something. So give me just a moment here. Yeah, neither of you would qualify under the indigent requirements. So I don't know if you're planning on hiring an attorney. You certainly have right to do that. But that you wouldn't qualify under the rules for appointment. And generally, so what I'd be doing today is entering an order appointing a guardian ad litem for the child, who will then advise whether or not we need to get an attorney for the child, and that's a separate issue. Check. And the father's not been served yet. Sir, would you be willing to accept paperwork via email since you're down in California?
Yes, I wasn't aware of this until Saturday, Your Honor. I didn't know anything was going on. I've been out of the loop. I text my daughter every day. Yeah, no one told me nothing. So I went and filed paperwork yesterday, and I found out paperwork's already been filed. So yes, I can do it over email or whatever you want.
Okay. And so Melissa, do you have his email address?
I do not.
All right. I don't want to, these are streamed on the internet, so I really don't want you putting emails and addresses.
He is more than welcome for my phone number to be provided to him if he'd like. That can be public knowledge to him. He also has contact with the minor child. So
ma'am, why don't you, if you could, on the chat at the bottom of the screen, if you could send him your phone number directly to him, then you guys can connect and get paperwork on email.
should I send him my email or my phone number?
Whichever. However you want to do it. He needs to get copies of the paperwork, and if he's willing to do that via email, so I want to get everybody on board as quick as we can here so we can address the case. Obviously, there's some issues here.
Can you ask Mr. Black to please confirm that he received the number in the chat?
Yep, just got it.
Sent it to everyone.
Okay, so he's got that. So you guys can touch base. You can get an email address exchange. You can get him copies of all the paperwork, and then go from there. I guess my thought on this thing is I can get a guardian ad litem appointed. We could probably set this over even to next week.
Okay.
Take a look at it and make some determinations on temporary kinds of orders and things other than that.
Thank you.
All right. So, ma'am, you've received a copy, Melissa, or not you, Melissa, excuse me, Alicia, you received a copy of the paperwork. So if you're going to be objecting, which you certainly have a right to do, if you would be able to put something together and send that into us, to the clerk, as well as to the petitioner, what those objections are. And the same for the father, if you can do that as well, preferably sooner than later, so it gets into the court file. And then like I said, I'll be appointing a guardian ad litem. I don't have that name in front of me right now because I've got to step out and talk to Board of Administration, see who's next on our list for that. And then we can come back and talk about what we're going to do next on this case. And we can do that next week on the 12th.
At what time?
That'd be at 10:30 as well. It'll be a hearing just like this on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. And so you can appear the same way. I'm sorry?
I have a question if I can, may I ask you something?
I can't give you legal advice, but I'll try and answer your question.
I just want to know, where's my child going to be? Whose custody is she in right now? Is she going to be out of the state of Washington? Because I've heard she's going back to California. I just want to know where she's at so she's okay is all I'm worried about.
Well, I'm not ordering any orders of placement today.
Okay. So will she be with her mother or because I don't know where she's staying at right now. I don't know where she's at.
Where is the child now? Is she
Melissa Wenzel.
She took her, we don't know.
She has not been taken, Your Honor, if I may objection to that.
okay?
She was actually released to my care from St. John's Hospital after 11 days of hospitalization, both for COVID as well as for mental health. They were unable to get any type of correspondence with the mother.
I
And
object.
Well, hold on, both of you just say. I just need to know, she's still here.
yes, she is still in the state of
Okay.
Washington.
Okay, so
The child has been in contact with both CPS daily as well as her counselor. And she has had contact with the father, letting the father to know her wishes. So
Okay. Do you have
everything else you just do through the guardian ad litem.
you have a place for her to stay in Washington.
Correct.
Okay, so she's apparently with Miss Wenzel until next week in Washington.
Yes, in Washington.
And then we'll make some decisions about that when I think that was one of the concerns that the other judge who looked at this initially was a potential of moving the child to a different state. And we don't want to make any immediate changes till we get a little more information.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So you're going to get the father some paperwork so he knows what we're talking about. I'll get a guardian appointed. We'll come back in a week and the child will stay in Washington. And then we'll see what the next steps are.
Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So that'll be all today on this one. Great. Thank you. And this was when the mom, you're agreeable to this at this point? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. And it looked like we had the DCYF information that appeared to be clear. So Ms. Barr, where are we at?
I believe my notes say that we're waiting for the petition, the long-term petition to be filed, but
I have a case number on that. There was paperwork filed today.
okay.
And it was started in 2008.
That's what we were waiting for. It's obviously not on Odyssey yet.
It sounds like that's in a separate case number. So can we relate those two cases? So
Yeah, I think I don't know if they're sending it back ex parte or not.
Perfect. So it sounds like we have a permanent one that'll need to be, and Ms. Delaney Parks, you're agreeable to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there a consent that was filed in that one?
I was served and I signed, and I also many times in court have given my consent.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
Your Honor, I believe that would be on the emergency, so we would need clarification on the long term if it was just filed today.
Yeah.
I give my consent. We've been on the same page with everything.
Let me just take a look at one thing real quick here. I think what happened here is the consent that you signed, ma'am, was actually on the original petition, because I'm not seeing a separate one. Let me just double check here. Oh, I don't see that.
So Your Honor, in the forms bank, there is not a separate consent. It's all the same.
Oh, okay. That's
And
interesting.
that's why that's happening.
That's interesting. Well, it sounds like the mom's agreeable to all this. It sounds like, so worst case scenario, if we can just have something in your report as well as in that final petition that indicates that, and probably have mom sign off on the orders when we get that done. So once those are related together, this one apparently it's filed in a separate case number, so it won't show up in this case number, but it will essentially take over this case. So I guess your report may want to be under the new case number.
Okay.
Not sure how you're doing that.
It will have to be under the case number that I'm appointed on,
They were gonna
which would be the existing.
they're gonna send back an order pointing my, GAO ex parte, I believe, in this case, and they're gonna send all of it back together so that it all can be reviewed. at the
Okay.
same time.
Okay, it sounds like that's coming back, so I'll take a look at that.
So I'll follow up, make sure that all the other things are done in this case.
Okay.
And then sounds like mother will sign an acceptance of service on the new petition, and then we can go ahead and get everything wrapped up. I would suggest setting this out. Don't know if the 26th is enough time.
Probably pretty quick.
The following week is spring break, so it would probably need to be April 9th.
Okay.
Probably could get everything submitted by then.
All right, so I'll extend this out to April 9th at 10:30.
Okay.
And then we'll take a look at all the paperwork that's coming back to be reviewed by the court, as well as Ms. Farrell have a chance to get her paperwork done. And we may be able to get everything done at that point. If
Awesome.
things go
Certainly
well.
try to.
So we'll shoot for April 9th at 10:30.
All right.
Thank you.
right.
This
Thank
one,
you.
looks like we were awaiting a report on this one.
Correct. And this is my fault again. I just haven't had enough time to get this one done. And I said that at the last hearing as well, but I just have had so many cases to get finished up on that I just haven't had time on this one. So we could set this one to the 26th.
I work that day, so I could do April 2nd, but like you said, that's spring break. So I don't know if that works for you. The next day I would be available after that would be April 16th.
Are you okay? So
As far as you out on spring break, or?
I'm hoping to take that week, some time off that week. Yes.
Okay.
May I ask, Ms. Farr, if you've had contact with the POA and the father regarding the signing off and agreeing to guardianship?
So that's something I can discuss with you privately.
Okay.
I could either put this over to next week, which is a pretty short docket.
I could do the 19th. I'm available.
So unfortunately, the 12th, I'm in a trial in Clark County. The 19th,
Okay.
I'm in an all-day training in Seattle. The 26th would be my
I
first
work
day.
that-
You're not available.
Yeah.
Then we have spring break, and then the next would be the 9th.
And I work that day as well because I work a week on, a week off. So I'm not available again on a Tuesday until the 16th of April.
Okay.
Is this one contested at all?
No, and we could go ahead and put it on for the 19th, and I'll just step out of my training for a few minutes if we could put it at the top of the docket.
I'd almost prefer to go out to the 16th if that's workable with everybody, since there's no objections being filed.
Okay.
If we put it on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It makes it a little easier for me too, because with Angelique's medical conditions, every time we get a new order, I have to send it to probably about a half dozen
people regarding me being able to like access her healthcare and manage her healthcare. And so the longer we have in between, it actually is better for me.
Okay.
And part of the reason, I think probably because you weren't available, it looks like on the 19th, we don't have anything currently on that docket. I just assume not do that if we don't need to.
Oh, okay.
So let's go with the 16th of April. That's the next one. Everybody's available. That'll give plenty of time to get everything hopefully done.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mrs. Farr, I'm available today if you're able to give me a call. If not, I'm at work for the next week. My next available day for a phone call regarding contact with the father and the POA. I wouldn't be off work again until the 13th, just so you know.
The 13th of
this month.
March. Okay.
I work for the week straight, so.
Okay.
Well, I think we're going to be done here in about 2 minutes. So you.
Yep.
I'm available.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So I'll sign an order on that and then we'll be back on the 16th of April.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.